Hey, I wanted to do a short video on a topic because a person that's right next to me had asked a question, and we're all sitting here. First of all, I'll probably never own another gas-powered vehicle again. It depends. The deal would have to be phenomenal, and it would have to be a phenomenal vehicle. Right now, I'm looking at a few things that are super attractive. Let me just do this real quick. All right, here we go. So a woman that's next to me that's charging, she asked me a question, and I don't know where it came from. Maybe she had an interaction, and we're sitting here charging anyway. She asked me about the car, and asked me about what types of cars I like, just some general conversation. So one of the cars I identified is the Porsche Taycan. It's all electric. Yo, this car is beautiful. So right now, I'm probably not going to do anything about it, but it's a beautiful car. It really is. And if any of you have seen the new movie Den of Thieves 2, the car's featured in that. It's got the color that it was featured in is white, but then it turns out that that was a wrap, which I doubt. I think in the movie they had a white Porsche, and then they just had a metallic, a monochrome Porsche as well. I don't see that car was too beautiful. Oh my God, beautiful car. It's about $150, but worth it. It's an all electric, beautiful car. If you're gonna spend the money on a Lucid, then you might as well go ahead and get the Porsche. That's like if you're gonna spend the money on a Chevy, you might as well go ahead and cute. You might as well go ahead and get yourself whatever you want. I mean, whatever floats your boat, blah blah blah. But anyway, this woman that asked me a question, she was like, listen, I don't know what she's leaving now. I don't know what possessed her to ask me. I think she got pulled over. And she was like, yeah, they kind of went through my car, blah, blah, blah. And, I had asked her, like, well, first of all, I don't know the circumstance, but why did you get pulled over? Oh, they said I was speeding, blah, blah, blah. So I'm looking at the tint on her windows, and I'm like, okay. So they pulled her over, and she said they're so, corrupt. They got me out of the car. They tossed my car, blah, 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 this, that, and the third. So as I'm out and we're talking, mind you, we're standing outside of our cars, as she's talking to me, explaining her situation, her car door was open. Her driver's side door was open. So I was able to actually see in her car, and I'll get back to why this is significant in a minute. So I'm looking at her car and I'm seeing like prescription bottles by the driver's seat. I think I may have seen what looked like a cooler, maybe a wine cooler bottle, on the passenger seat. So, and it was bizarre, but I definitely saw the prescription bottles, 2 of them at least, and I did see what appeared to be a cooler bottle, like kind of wedged in between her passenger seat. You can see the top of it. I can see the label. And I'm fairly sure it wasn't ginger beer or anything like that. So I was like, look, first off, if you want me to answer your question, do you have This is just a general question. I'm not trying to be invasive, but you asked me. So are you comfortable with me asking you a few questions? Yeah. Okay, cool. I said, you have your tints. When did you get your car tinted? Did you buy it like that, or did you tint it after? I tinted it after. Okay, cool. Do you have a waiver for your tint? Waiver, what's that? I automatically knew, no, she don't have a waiver. So I explained, I said, listen, if you have a medical condition, right? You can go to your doctor and have your doctor certify a waiver for window glazing or window shielding or window tint. Most states have this policy in place for the public to use. Many people don't use it. It's just simpler in most people's minds. You know, I got this car, I want to make it look cool, I'm gonna get my windows tinted. The dude around here is gonna hit me for $1.50 to do it. It's a done deal. And they go and they throw on limo tint on all their windows. As crazy as it sounds, in some cases also the windshield, and then you wonder why you get stopped. So first of all, you get stopped because limo tint is way too dark, and it's only authorized for limousines, law enforcement, and things of that nature. And they have to have certain authorizations from the state or Commonwealth to be able to do that. So at any rate, you know, she's like, no, I don't have it. I'm like, well, you can apply for it. You know, you have to have a medical condition. You have to go to the motor vehicles and find out about that. But I said, that's problem number one. Now, the state that we're in, to stop a motor vehicle for a window tint is not a primary reason to stop a motor vehicle, right? It can be a secondary reason that can be used to cite somebody, but it's not primary. Somebody can't pull you over because you have tint. It's not considered a primary reason to make a motor vehicle stop under Title 39 in this state. There has to be some other prerequisite. So in her case, she was speeding. Shouldn't have been speeding. Most new cars have speedometers, not only on the dash, but you have apps and all these other things that will indicate to you how fast you're going. So if you don't pay attention to that, boo-boo on you, right? So she got a ticket. She showed me the ticket for that. As a matter of fact, she showed me that ticket, but she had like 3 or 4. At any rate, so she got that. But the reason she got pulled over was because there were things that were seen inside the car, right? There is a doctrine that is used. And most lawyers, people in the legal community, law enforcement, we all know it, and it's a doctrine called the plain view doctrine, right? And what that basically says in layman's terms is that anything I can see during the course of normal conversation, right, that's in plain view, that's open season. I can inquire and I can investigate further if that's what I'm doing. So in her case, she had prescription bottles on the floor. She had this, whether it was open, partially consumed, or empty alcoholic beverage bottle sitting out in the open. Like, why would you? All right, cool. If you rushing, you trying to get someplace, maybe you went out with the girls last night and, drank this cooler and forgot it was there, whatever. But why would you have that in your car? You know what I'm saying? So of course, whoever pulled her over was like, well, you know what? And they did what they did, and she got at least 3 or 4 tickets, right? Not overkill, because, she was speeding, number one. That's primary. Secondary was the tint. And the other 2 were for that, whatever they were. She didn't disclose what they were for. But my point is that plain view doctrine will cover, in most cases, and many people don't understand, why you should keep the cabin of your motor vehicle as clean as you can. Not so that it's just not for safety and not for aesthetics, but you don't want to put yourself in a situation unnecessarily, right? Because 90% of the time, if somebody is going to get bagged on a primary offense and get pulled over, the secondary stuff comes from plain view. What's that? Oh, what is that right there? Do me a favor, step out for a second. And now they're in the cabin. Now, people may ask, well, Can they do that for the trunk? No, you need a warrant to get in the trunk because the warrant is not considered plain view. So they can ask. So if you get pulled over, somebody can certainly ask you, hey, do you mind if I take a look in your trunk? You have anything illegal that you shouldn't have? You have any weapons? No, I don't. You mind if I look in your trunk? Yes, I do. Now, if the officer has enough reasonable, articulable suspicion to check your trunk, he can then apply for what's called a telephonic warrant. A telephonic warrant is basically they call in to a judge and they have to articulate to a judge a reasonable legal reason why they believe that there's something in the trunk of their car that they need to investigate further. And the judge will decide based on what he hears, based on precedent, whether or not they get the warrant. But that explains why. So, you know, for many people that are driving around with stuff you shouldn't have in the car, you shouldn't have it in the car, point blank. Do what you do off the road. I'm not saying anybody should do anything. I'm not saying anybody shouldn't do anything. It is your life. We live in a great country. You do owe it to yourself to follow the rule of law. That is what governs our day-to-day life. But certainly there's some things that you need to be made aware of. And that's one of it. The plain view doctrine gets so many people jammed up because people don't realize, because they're rushing. They're on their smartphones. They're updating TikTok instead of taking some time on the TikTok to go and get their car clean. You know, they're updating all these apps and forgot they got half a roach sitting in the ashtray. Or you got ashes all over the place. Or you got other stuff. You got a pile of crap in the back with, you don't even know what's back there. You know what I'm saying? And people don't understand that, you know, the plain view doctrine for an environment where there is nothing. So if you don't have anything that's out of sorts or untoward in the cabin of your car, chances are when you have a law enforcement interaction, it's going to be quick. You know, they'll introduce themselves. They'll usually tell you what you're being pulled over for, and they'll ask you for your documentation. I'm somebody that holds, you know, people to a standard, right? But certainly these are the things that happen. So you produce your paperwork, blah, 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 you know, and if you're able to do all these things and articulate in such a way that, hey, look, you know, if I made a mistake, my bad, here you go, blah, blah, blah. It's usually a smooth interaction. What goes wrong 9 times out of 10 is that people start automatically becoming animated. And it could be in some small percentages because people don't have their paperwork. Maybe their license is suspended. Maybe they got other issues going on. There's all of these things that are happening that now manifest themselves in how somebody acts. What you pulling me over for, man? Damn, dog, I ain't even do nothing. Blah, 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 blah. You know, meanwhile, the person might have just came up and been like, yo, you forgot to signal. If you don't signal, nobody knows you're going to make a left or make a right. And that can cause a crash. Listen, have a nice day. But now, because automatically you're amped up, the person's like, okay, cool. Let me invest some time to figure out why this person's so animated and amped up. And 9 times out of 10, they're able to find something based on the plain view doctrine. So this is just a short video to just, you know, bring everybody in the sound of this, my voice on this video, make you part of the know so that you can actually actively try to protect yourself. Because I believe that in the country that we live in, you know, we live by the rule of law and a standard that has been gifted to us by the forefathers of this great place of ours. We have our constitutional rights. Excuse me. We have the Constitution. We have the Bill of Rights. Many people conflate the two, but there's a certain standard that has to be adhered to based on the rule of law. So, you know, in most cases, if you're doing, you know, what you're supposed to do, look, they got a job to do. You know, and what I told the woman, because she was really upset, I'm like, look, at the end of the day, they got a job to do. You know, if in your house at 2 o'clock in the morning, something goes bump in the night, you're not going to want to go find out what's going on, you 9 times out of 10, you're going to dial 911, let them come deal with it. So they have a job to do. So, you know, if they do their job, you can't then get pissed off at them for doing your job. That's the truth, for doing their job. Pardon me. You can get mad at yourself and hold yourself accountable. That's fine. Look, if I make a mistake, and I make many a day, I've made many in my life, I hold myself accountable. So, for example, I watched somebody earlier, dude was like doing 120 miles an hour. How do I know? Because I was doing 80. And I was able to ascertain this dude was doing 40 miles, almost 40 miles over the limit, approximately. And I'm looking like, yo, why is that necessary? Right? You woke up late for work, whatever. But now, if that person gets stopped at 120 miles an hour, not only are you getting some serious tickets that carry surcharges, but in certain states and commonwealths, they can lock you up for that. So it makes no sense. If I got to get someplace quick, then I'm already prepared for the consequences if I start moving faster than I should. Because the reality is I put other people at risk. And many people don't even check their cars to see if they're going to perform and function the way they should if they have to move at a high rate of speed. They don't check their tires. They just jump at it and go. So, you know, there's a lot that is boiled and baked into this conversation. But at the top, the cherry on the top is the plain view doctrine. Because if you got something that you know you shouldn't have, you know, get it out of plain view. Get it out of plain view. If you're driving and you speeding and you know, like, oh damn, trooper just came out. Oh my God, let me you know you got something questionable, you need to get it out of plain view. You know, those who and again, I don't advocate for anybody doing anything illegal. If you do something that is illegal in the state of Commonwealth in which you live, yo, be prepared to take it on the muscle. Many people that are licensed firearm, you know, licensed to carry firearms, either law enforcement, military, whatever, you know, they usually, if it comes up, you know, if it comes up and you're asked, hey, yeah, I do, but I also, you know, I'm licensed, blah, blah, blah. Where is it? It's here, there, everywhere. You know, they may or may not. Some people may say, well, you know what? Do me a favor. Why don't you step on out? Let's secure it. All goes well, you'll be on your way, right? Some people say, it's cool. Where is it? Okay, leave it there. And they're comfortable with that. A lot of those practices have to do with the policies and procedures in the area that you're at, or in the you know, the jurisdiction that you're traveling through. So, you know, for those with firearms in particular, and I will say this, there is reciprocity, right? The only state, or one of these states that accept reciprocity, meaning I have a firearm permit, I have a firearm, I got a carry permit. Georgia is the only state that recognizes other states' licensing. So they're the only ones that openly say, hey man, if you got a carry permit, you know, where you're at, you can carry here, right? You always keep your documentation with you, but that you can do that. But, you know, it gets real tricky, even with knives. So I'm like this, it's a beautiful life. It's great if you can live your life responsibly and enjoy it, you know, go on vacation, have a good time, enjoy yourself reasonably. But don't put yourself in stupid situations. It breaks my heart when I see video after video after video after video after video of people just doing just the stupidest things. And they all say the same thing. I don't care, I don't care, I don't care. Yeah, you care when you go in cuffs. And now you have to get out of wherever you're at and go hire an attorney. A friend of mine, son, just had a situation with a family member. There was a firearm involved. One person got shot 4 times. Now, the shooter, who's never had a problem before, now he's in a serious situation. they're trying to give him attempted murder charge. So, you know, it went from nothing to something extraordinary real quick. So if you end up with a charge for, you know, for aggravated assault, manslaughter, attempted murder, whew, you're gonna have to pay serious money, serious amount of money. And it's sad. And I don't like to see anybody in those situations. So the more you know, hopefully this helps you. Hopefully, you know, you can understand this doctrine and how it works. All of us using social media, you can Google some other things that go into plain view doctrine and how different states view them, how it's viewed on the federal level, the difference between the federal and the state or local. You know, I heavily encourage all of you to go out and, if you're interested, to look that stuff up. But I gave her, you know, a lot of information that that hopefully helped her, and you know, hopefully she was able to you know, she's pissed she got tickets, but you know, it helps. Let's see what you're saying. What do y'all got to say about the situation? Hey, thank you. I appreciate what was that? BBWs, BMW. Yeah, BMW, BBW. Hey, to each his own. To each his own. If it's the BBW, that I think you're talking about, man, listen, they're beautiful. They're beautiful, man. You know, even 600 pounders, man, you know, for them, I'm not one that's going to disparage somebody because of their weight. I would say that somebody that's in that extreme weight class, you need to get it addressed, because you're not going to survive, point blank. So for somebody that is, you know, 600, 400 pounds, you know, they really need to get help. But in general, BBWs also need to evaluate where they are and make the appropriate changes based on their choices and life habits. But I can't say I don't like them. You know what I mean? Hey, Daniel, you too, man. Stay blessed. Jeff, thank you. You remind me of my uncle. Hey, you know what? Your uncle's a great man. I already know that. Your uncle's a great man. Hey, what's going on? What is that? Is that Fetty Fetty? If I mispronounce it, please forgive me. But yeah, I wanted to jump on. It was crazy. Sometimes in life, and I'm sure that all of you have experienced sometimes when people will just come up to you, and you might be drinking a cup of coffee, scrolling through your phone, checking your email, looking at the stars, I don't know, bird watching, and somebody will just come out of the blue and just have the most bizarre question. And you'll be sitting there like, yo, where is this coming from? Let me start looking around and make sure, you know, that there's no video cameras or something like feeding into this. But I think what the real answer is that we all emanate frequencies, right? And not to get too mystical here, but we all emanate an energy that emanates from us. And just like energy, just like electricity, it bounces and it gets absorbed. Some people, we repel and they repel us. But some people are receptive to that good energy and they feel safe. And for whatever reason, they feel like it's a good opportunity to ask a question in a safe space. I once had a woman come up to me. I'm trying to think of the exact circumstance. She was like, it was random though. She just walked up, tapped me on the shoulder. Hey, how you doing? I'm like, hey, what's going on? She was cute too. Listen, here's my car keys. Can you drive me home? And I'm like, what? What are you talking about? Like, what are you? Yo, ho. Before, these are your keys. Whoa. And she literally dropped her car keys in my hand. And I'm like, whoa, wait. Calm down. First of all, explain to me what's going on. She was like, yo, I've consumed way too much liquor. I basically walked out of wherever she was drinking. She walked out of there. She didn't feel safe. She felt like she was going to be targeted. And I remember asking her, I said, so you walk over to me? She was like, I don't see anybody else that can help me. And you just, I don't know. I was like, you know what? It's cool. It's cool. But listen, why don't we do this? Why don't we park your car? Your car's already parked. How about first of all, where do you live? she, you know, she was like, I live over here. I said, I tell you what, look, how about either two things? How about I get you? And she was just for some reason attached. Like, no, but I don't want to. And I think there may have been something that happened inside wherever she was, and she didn't feel safe. So I'm like, look, why don't we do this? I'm here with a sibling. Let me call them, and then we'll get you home. All right? Would that work for you? That way you can keep your keys on you, right? We'll put them here. As a matter of fact, here, just open your purse. I'm gonna drop your keys in. Boom. We dropped the keys in, and we got her home. And I felt good about that, because sometimes you'll have those interactions as well, where people will come up to you, and because of your energy and the goodness that's within you, you'll be able to impact somebody's life in a great way. And I'm the type of dude that, you know, I challenge people. I challenge people that say they're socially minded. So I don't openly challenge people. I'm not out here just challenging people. Every time somebody says something, I got to say something. But if something's directed toward me, or if I happen to be in a situation where, you know, people are having discussions about what has to happen socially. Look, I'm in hoods, and I'll go sit on the stoop and talk with dudes about why they do what they do. You know what I'm saying? And maybe in our interaction, plant a seed that they can use to go do something different. Because the reality of stuff that happens on a street level is that it's either three ways. Either you get lucky and make it out. Either you get killed, and that's that. Or three, you end up in jail, and that's that. So, you know, I always try to just be as positive as I can. But I wanted to just do this video on this doctrine so that you people can be aware of it, that everyone in the sound of my voice can be aware of it. And the more you know, the more it helps you be more effective and enjoy your life in a way that is measured and responsible. And that's one of my aims. That's what I wanted to talk about. I know I've been talking about content and doing some things. I'm going to link up with Coach Shamika Jones. We're going to go through some of the brackets and some of the things that are happening in college women's basketball. For those of you who don't know, USC had a phenomenal game the other night, man. They knocked off UCLA, and it was just a great game. But there's a lot of things going on there. I had been under the weather a little bit. I got a WNBA and women's basketball legend that I'd like to come and have a conversation. And that's going to be pretty hot. In addition to content and stuff that's already attached to the channel, that some of you all are already familiar with, and I pop in from time to time and do this. But I'm just about charged up, and I know people are starting to look at me like I got 6 heads. So until the next time, y'all be easy, be chill, stay alert. Like, comment, subscribe, and also be aware of your surroundings. All right, and take care of yourself. Stay prayed up and stay healthy. I'll see you next time.